After completing their mission in the Land of Waves, Team 7 returns to Konoha. Although Sasuke saved Naruto's life, their teamwork seems to have got even worse than before, with Naruto intent on beating Sasuke and causing him to mess up on subsequent missions. Kakashi decides their teamwork is off that day, and sends them all home. Later, Konohamaru and his two friends, Udon and Moegi, stalk Naruto. As antics ensue, Konohamaru accidentally bumps into a foreign ninja who he then insults, causing the latter to threaten killing him. Naruto attempts to attack the newcomer, but is tripped by an invisible attack. Just as the mysterious ninja is about to hit Konohamaru, Sasuke saves the day, throwing a stone which forces the ninja to drop him. Just as he is about to attack Sasuke, another one appears, telling the latter to stop playing around. Meanwhile, all the Jonin are gathered along with the third Hokage. He announces the Chunin exams will take place in 7 days. As the three Sand siblings are introduced, Gaara scolds Kankuro for his abuse of the kids. Gaara then apologizes to Sasuke for his behavior. The three are ninja from Sunuga, the hidden village of Sand, and they come to Konoha for the Chunin exams. The third Hokage asks Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurenai to step forward, and recommend any genin they believe to be fit to take the Chunin exams. Iruka thinks that the rookies need more time, and that there is no way that any of them will be recommended. However, all three Jonin recommend their students, which shocks Iruka greatly. Iruka challenges their decision, as he believes Naruto and the others are not ready for the exam. They, however, stand by their decision and the Hokage agrees. The next morning, Kakashi gives Team 7 the application forms for the Chunin exams. Both Sasuke and Naruto accept, but Sakura is uncertain. Later, all three of Team 7 are attacked by a mysterious ninja from a different village. Moegi is captured by a mysterious ninja, and is seen tied up and gagged with a cloth. Naruto eventually saves her, but the mysterious ninja escapes. Sakura is taken in by his genjutsu, but quickly figures it out. Sasuke easily defeats the ninja, telling him to stay out of Konoha. The ninja is revealed to be Iruka in disguise. He reports back to Kakashi, confirming they all passed his test. Inside, the school registration for the exam is taking place, but two shinobi bar the way, warning all the genin about the exam. A fight nearly breaks out, but Rock Lee steps in, and diffuses the situation, which surprises Sasuke. Rock Lee later goes after Sasuke and challenges him to a duel. Sasuke has attracted the attention of Rock Lee, who challenges him to a fight. Lee is not only interested in seeing how his skills match up against a descendant of the Uchiha clan, but he also has a crush on Sakura, although Sakura doesn't seem to be interested. Feeling neglected in his teammate's shadow, Naruto offers to fight in Sasuke's place. Without wasting time, he charges at Lee, but is easily knocked unconscious. Lee explains they simply cannot beat him, as he is the strongest of the Konoha genin right now. Finally interested, Sasuke accepts his challenge, and attacks. He's instantly met with Lee's leaf whirlwind and goes flying backwards. Getting back up, Sasuke prepares, resorting to his Sharingan, to figure out Lee's technique this time. Again, this is futile and Lee explains it's because his techniques are neither ninjutsu or genjutsu, but mere taijutsu, also known as martial arts. With hand-to-hand combat, the Sharingan isn't helpful. Even if he can see the techniques, one's body cannot move fast enough to react. Lee uses the shadow of the dancing leaf to kick off his next move in order to finish off Sasuke. But a large turtle stops him before he carries this out. The turtle seemingly reprimands Lee for using a forbidden technique, leaving Naruto to think the turtle is Lee's teacher. Might Guy, his actual teacher, appears on top of the turtle and punches Lee across the face as punishment, proceeding to hug him, and cry afterward. Team 7 are dumbstruck, and Sasuke can't believe he was beaten by what he perceives as a freak. Guy asks the team how his eternal rival, Kakashi, is doing. He says he is ahead in their duel record, which stands at 50 wins and 49 losses. Guy also says that he is much faster and stronger than Kakashi. When Guy leaves, Lee confesses that he is not the strongest genin, and that Neji Hyuga, his teammate, is stronger. Naruto needles Sasuke, saying that Lee obviously trains harder than him. In the end, the team focus their attention on the Chunin exams. Kakashi meets up with Team 7 before they enter the hall of the Chunin exams. He informs them that unless they had all consented to take the exams, none of them would have been permitted to enter. With that, he wishes them good luck. Within the hall, the Rookie 9 meet up and have a spirited discussion. Kabuto Yakushi warns them to quiet down, as they are seemingly irritating the shinobi around them. Explaining the exams further, Kabuto uses his ninja info cards to give Sasuke information on Gaara and Rock Lee. Kabuto says that the individuals taking the exams are almost likely elites from their respective villages, a fact that intimidates the rookies. With his standard enthusiasm, Naruto loudly proclaims that he won't lose to anyone, and the rest of the room reacts to his words with annoyance. Insulted by Kabuto's earlier comment that the Hidden Sound Village shouldn't really be taken seriously, 3 sound ninjas attack Kabuto. Although it appears that Kabuto dodged the attack, his glasses suddenly break, and he becomes nauseated despite not being hit. Before things can escalate any further, the proctor, Ibiki Marino, and his team appear on the scene. Ibiki Marino announces that the first part of the Chunin exams is a written test. Ibiki explains that a team's score will be added up at the end of the exam to see which teams pass. Various Chunin proctors line the sides of the room and watch the genin to catch cheaters. If caught cheating, the genin and his or her team are all disqualified. However, the test proves exceedingly difficult, and eventually most candidates figure out the trick to the exam. In order to pass, they have to cheat without getting caught. They then use their respective skills to subtly cheat. 45 minutes into the written portion of the Chunin exams, Ibiki announces that it is time for the 10th and final question. But he ominously states that there is one special rule for this question. Meanwhile, Kakashi, Asuma Sarutobi, and Kurenai Yui rest at the academy staff room and discuss their respective teams' chances of passing the first phase. Kakashi and Asuma explain to Kurenai that Ibiki specializes in interrogation and knows how to get inside the minds of his victims. Back at the exam, Ibiki states that the candidates are free to choose whether or not they want to try and solve the 10th question. If they opt out, the entire team will fail. If they choose to answer the question but get it wrong, they will be barred from taking the Chunin exams forever. Several teams actually decide to leave rather than risk it. Naruto doesn't have any answers to the first 9 questions, and knows that the chance of him knowing the answer to the 10th is basically equivalent to 0%. He seems to waver, but finally exclaims in his loud voice that he will not be intimidated, and will become Hokage, even if he fails and remains a genin forever. This ridiculous but determined outburst from Naruto the clown calms the remaining teams, and everyone is determined to stay for the remaining question. Seeing that no one else is going to leave, Ibiki passes them all. He explains that the first 9 questions were to test their information-gathering skills, whereas the 10th was to test their determination and bravery. With the first phase of the exam completed, Anko Mitarashi spectacularly crashes through the window and states she is the second examiner. After the students leave, Ibiki picks up Naruto's exam paper and smiles to himself, realizing he just passed a student who didn't answer a single question. The next day, the candidates gather outside the Forest of Death. Anko briefs the candidates on their objectives for the second portion of the Chunin exams. The test is structured such that at least half the teams will be eliminated. Before entering the Forest of Death, all teams will be given either a Heaven or an Earth scroll. Once inside the forest, the genin must take the other scroll from another team. Only those that make it to the tower in the center of the forest with both scrolls will advance to the next stage of the exams. Anko hands out the scrolls and opens the forest gates. Soon after, Team 8 that includes Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame manages to take a Hidden Rain Village's team scroll after trapping them. Elsewhere, Team 7 is attacked by a disguised rain ninja. Meanwhile, Naruto has to pee and Sakura hits him, and tells him go pee in a bush. When he comes out, Sasuke starts hitting him, and explains to Sakura that this person is not Naruto, because Naruto has scars on his cheek. With his identity being compromised, the Hidden Rain Ninja ditches his disguise and fights Sasuke, who defeats him while spotting the real Naruto, freeing him after he beats the Rain Ninja. Sasuke tells the others that they need a password. But the password he chooses is too long as Naruto struggles to remember it. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind separates the team. Just as he reorients himself, Naruto finds himself swallowed by a giant snake. When Sasuke and Sakura later meet up with who they thought was Naruto, Sasuke suspects something is wrong when Naruto repeats the password word for word. Sasuke explains that the real Naruto would not have recited such a difficult password, hence why he chose a lengthy one, and the imposter revealed to be a hidden grass village ninja named Shiori. Swallowing his scroll, Shiori paralyzes Sasuke and Sakura with visions of their deaths. Sasuke succeeds in regaining his composure, and getting himself and Sakura away from Shiori. Meanwhile, Naruto uses his shadow clone technique to burst out of the snake. Once freed, Naruto quickly comes to his friend's aid as Shiori corners Sasuke and Sakura. Despite Naruto's timely appearance, Sasuke decides to relinquish their scroll to Shiori to ensure their team's survival. However, Naruto stops Sasuke and punches him in the face. Refusing to accept Sasuke's mindset, Naruto takes the scroll from him. Naruto begins fighting Shiori and his snakes, although he is easily beaten and injured. As he is about to be devoured by the snake, Naruto taps into the Ninetales chakra and hits the snake down with one punch. Shiori manages to use the snake to toss Naruto into a tree, and then uses the snake to attack Sasuke, but Naruto manages to rush in and save him, asking him if he is okay and calling him a baby, echoing the same words Sasuke told him once before. Recognizing Naruto as the Ninetales container, Shiori uses a seal to block Naruto's access to the fox's chakra, rendering him unconscious. He throws him towards the ground, but Sakura saves him. She then yells at a frozen Sasuke to stop being a coward. Her words remind Sasuke of his brother, Itachi, and it rejuvenates Sasuke with determination as he prepares to battle the grass shinobi. Meanwhile, Anko finds the real Shiori and his team, dead and faceless, and recognizes it to be the work of someone she knows. Back to Team 7, Sasuke and Shiori engage in combat. After a long and difficult battle, Sasuke seemingly ends the battle with his fire release, Dragon Fire technique, to incinerate Shiori. However, the shinobi survives with his face partially melted off, revealing another face underneath. The shinobi reveals himself to be Orochimaru. He then extends his neck and bites Sasuke, leaving behind a cursed seal. After wishing Sasuke to survive, Orochimaru takes his leave. Anko finds Orochimaru and attacks him, intent on killing her former teacher for his crimes, even at the potential cost of her own life. But she fails as Orochimaru escapes. While hiding under a tree, Sakura tends to Sasuke and Naruto's wounds. Alerted from a daze by a squirrel, Sakura quickly wards it off with a kunai, ignorant to the fact that the Hidden Sound team had sent the squirrel there with an explosive tag on its back. Elsewhere, Rock Lee stops on a branch, and sets himself the task of catching all the leaves that had fallen, believing that if he did, Sakura would fall in love with him. After catching 19 of the 20 leaves, he spots a squirrel with an explosive tag on its back, and saves it before destroying the explosive tag. Dosu and his squad challenge Sasuke, but Sakura, prepared to defend her comrades, sets off several traps at the enemy shinobi. Unfortunately, Dosu manages to destroy the trap with ease, and shortly after that makes a remark about how Sakura has no right to be a ninja. Just before they could land their attack, however, Rock Lee shows up and knocks the three of them away. Declaring that he will protect Sakura until he dies, Lee uses his brute strength to pull up an underground route to block an incoming attack by Dosu. As the battle ensues, Lee prepares to use the front lotus after deeming that the situation meets the criteria that his teacher told him had to be met in order to use it, to protect the people most precious to him. Lee is then able to catch Dosu and use the technique, but the force of impact is cushioned by Zaku, and Dosu is saved. Unable to move as his body is recuperating from the strain of using the front lotus, Dosu incapacitates Lee with his own technique, which he claims is faster than Lee's taijutsu, since it works at the speed of sound. With Rock Lee unconscious, Sakura has to defend herself and her teammates. One of the sound genin, Kintsuchi, takes hold of her hair and insults her for spending so much time on her looks. This remark spurs her into cutting her hair to free herself from Kin's grasp. Sakura battles Zaku Abumi by using several substitutions, slashing him with a kunai, and pinning him to the ground, while biting him to immobilize his other arm, though he quickly gains the advantage. Zaku then proceeds to beat Sakura's head until she begins to bleed. Unknown to Sakura, Team 10, which includes Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara, and Ino Yamanaka, is watching from a distance, while Ino remembers their childhood memories as Ino and Sakura are childhood friends. Team 10 runs to Sakura's aid before Zaku can kill her, Ino stating that she promised never to let Sakura show her up.
Expansion Jutsu! Go back boulder Jutsu! Slicing sound wave! Ninja art, shadow possession Jutsu!
Ninja art, mind transfer Jutsu!
While the fight rages on, Ino possesses Kin, rendering both of them unable to fight. However, the sound genins still manage to hold their own. Just as Rock Lee's teammates appear to join the fight, Sasuke awakens the cursed seal of heaven given to him by Orochimaru, as it engulfs his body. Noticing Sakura's wounds, Sasuke begins attacking Zaku in retaliation, eventually dislocating both of his arms. As Sasuke turns his attention to the final sound genin, Dosu, Sakura thinks to herself that this is not the real Sasuke and that he is somehow possessed. She then runs to him and embraces him while begging him to stop. Sasuke's cursed seal disappears and he falls to the ground. Dosu admits Sasuke's strength, leaves their scroll, and retreats while carrying his teammates, vowing to not run away next time they meet. As Team 7, Team 10, and Team Guy recover, Team 8 witnesses Gaara mercilessly killing a team of Hidden Rain Village genin.
Sand coffin! I can't move! Sand burial!
Although Gaara prepares to turn his attention to Team 8, who were hiding behind the bushes, his siblings persuade him to leave them alone. Gaara's team shatters the record for getting to the tower, reaching their destination in about an hour and a half. Naruto finally awakens from his nap. In need of a second scroll, Naruto contemplates forging a new scroll, although he would first need to read the original one that they already had. Before he could do so, Kabuto arrives to stop him, citing that those who read the scroll were rendered unconscious until the exam's end, and that a rival team had tried to open their scroll and had suffered this fate. Kabuto, separated from his teammates, accompanies Team 7 to the tower at the center of the forest. Along the way, the group encounters a disorienting genjutsu set by the teammates of the Rain Genin that Sasuke had earlier defeated. By the time they realize that they aren't getting any closer to the center of the forest, it is too late, as they are attacked by a number of clones. The team realizes soon enough that the clones are not physical, they are in fact another genjutsu. In order to draw out the assailants, Naruto disguises several of his shadow clones as his teammates, and fights the enemy clones all night. When Team Oboro believe that the entire team is exhausted from combat, Kabuto, Sakura, and Sasuke corner them. Sasuke orders Naruto to take a break, as he had used a lot of chakra and should be unable to move. However, Naruto rushes forward and punches all three of the Rain Genin, surprising Sasuke, Kabuto, and Sakura, with Kabuto realizing that Naruto's chakra levels must be ridiculously high. After a brief struggle, Naruto knocks out the enemies and takes their scroll, at which point they head to the tower and meet with Kabuto's team. Unknown to Naruto and his friends, Kabuto is revealed to be a spy from the Sound Village, and submits all of the data he gathered on them to his master, Orochimaru. Team 7 opens its scrolls inside the tower, summoning Iruka to inform them that they made it in time. He observes their growth, and allows them to enter the main room, where they meet with the other passing teams, Team 10, Team 8, Team 3, the three Sand siblings, Team Kabuto, and Team Dosu. The third Hokage briefly speaks about the exams and leaves Hayate Gecko in charge. Hayate announces that an unusually large number of genin passed the second stage of the exam this year, and as such, before they can proceed to the final stage, a series of one-on-one preliminary matches will have to take place so that only the winners of each match can proceed. Kabuto drops out immediately upon the notice, attributing his withdrawal on an injury sustained from an earlier part of the test. However, he worries to himself that if he participated, the old Kabuto might come out. Sasuke is still experiencing pain from the cursed seal, so Sakura tries to convince Sasuke to drop out. Sasuke refuses, and says that although he doesn't actually care about becoming a Chunin, he must see how he does against some of the best new ninjas, so he can avenge his family. The preliminary matches begin with Sasuke versus Yoroi Akato. As everyone else leaves the arena, Kakashi walks up to Sasuke and warns him about using his Sharingan, revealing that he knows about the cursed seal. He tells Sasuke that if the cursed seal begins to overtake Sasuke, Kakashi will stop the match. Sasuke is in a bad position to begin the fight. The cursed seal paralyzes him and causes intense pain whenever he attempts to use chakra, thus he cannot use genjutsu nor ninjutsu. At the same time, Yoroi's chakra absorption gives him the upper hand against taijutsu, which is Sasuke's only option to use in the battle. Eventually, Sasuke wins using his new move, the Lion Combo, demonstrating his control over the cursed seal in the process.
No, not again! No!
Kakashi takes him to an isolated location to hinder the cursed seal, only to be confronted by Orochimaru as he finishes. Back at the tower, Shino and Zaku begin the next match. Kakashi threatens to kill Orochimaru, a threat that Orochimaru takes lightly. Orochimaru just chooses to walk away, and as he leaves, Kakashi admits to himself that he would not be able to kill Orochimaru on his own. Meanwhile, Shino and Zaku continued their match. Shino ultimately won his match through the deceptive use of his destructive bugs, leaving Kankuro and Misumi to fight next. Kankuro easily wins his battle against Misumi by tricking him into attacking Karasu, Kankuro's puppet. In retaliation, Karasu snaps Misumi's neck, though he survives due to his ability to contort himself. The fourth match is between Sakura and Ino. The two begin fighting instantly, although they both fail to successfully attack the other. Neji wonders if their fighting skill is the best women ninjas can do, only for Tenten to state that their lack of fighting prowess is not because they are female, but rather because they are restraining themselves. Sakura, unwilling to lose to Ino and not happy with the fact that Ino is pulling her punches and taking pity on her, insults Ino. After trading insults, Sakura removes her protector from her head and places it on her forehead. Ino removes hers from her waist and also places it on her forehead. As true rivals, the pair then rush at one another, finally deciding to take the battle seriously. Sakura and Ino continue exchanging blows with neither able to gain the upper hand, and running out of chakra. She berates Ino for being too focused on beauty rather than her skills, as she cuts her hair off, and throws it on the ground. Desperate, Ino decides to use mind-body transfer to force Sakura to forfeit, despite knowing how inaccurate it is, and that she will be left immobile if it misses. Sakura dodges the attack and appears to have won, but finds herself trapped by the strands of Ino's cut hair which have been infused with chakra to form a binding rope. Ino reveals to only have pretended to miss on purpose, intending to lead her into the trap. She uses mind-body transfer again, knowing it can't miss now, and succeeds on gaining control of Sakura's body. Having gained control, Ino tries to make Sakura forfeit the match. Just then, Naruto yells at her to not to give up, prompting inner Sakura to appear and force Ino out of her head. Although confused by what happened, Ino lacks the energy to try again. Kakashi presumes that Ino's lack of chakra was a factor in Sakura's small victory, but also takes note of her strong will. They both charge at each other to exchange final blows, resulting in a double knockout. Hayate decides that neither of them will pass to the next round. Tenten and Temari are chosen to fight next. Tenten makes the first move and Temari easily dodges it. Tenten tries another attack that Temari repels, using wind from her giant folding fan, before warning Tenten that if she sees all 3 stars in her fan, the fight will be over. Tenten uses her twin rising dragons technique. Uncovering the second star, Temari repels the attack, then Tenten uses strings to reuse the weapons. Uncovering the third star, Temari repels the attack and traps Tenten in a cyclone. When Tenten falls from the cyclone, Temari makes her land on her fan, knocking her out. After being declared the winner, Temari tries to throw Tenten on the many weapons scattered on the floor, but Rock Lee descends and catches her. He then attacks Temari, only to be stopped by Might Guy, who warns the Sand Shinobi to not underestimate Lee. Shikamaru and Kin are next. Shikamaru tries the shadow imitation technique, but Kin easily evades and throws some senbon with bells attached at him. Shikamaru recognizes the trick, and mocks her for using such basic techniques. Kin then rings the bells on the senbon, starting her genjutsu. Shikamaru gets caught in Kin's genjutsu, unable to move, while Kin proceeds to attack him with more senbon. However, when Kin tries to attack again, she suddenly realizes that she can't move. Shikamaru tells her that he extended his shadow imitation technique through the shadow of the wires she's holding. He then throws a shuriken at Kin, which she imitates. When Shikamaru ducks backwards to evade it, Kin is forced to imitate him, but she did not realize that she was too close to the wall, hitting her head and knocking herself out. Shikamaru is declared the winner of the match, and Naruto and Kiba are chosen to fight next. Naruto is immediately at a disadvantage, realizing that Kiba fights with the assistance of his dog, Akamaru. Kiba charges at him, and delivers a blow to his stomach, knocking him down. Assuming he won, he tells Hayate to call the match, when Naruto gets back up, taunting him that it didn't hurt, and that he'd be better off sending his puppy. Kiba throws smoke bombs, before using the commotion to deliver more blows. When the smoke clears, he sees an unconscious Naruto laying on the ground, unaware it's just a shadow clone, and calls Akamaru towards him, who latches onto his arm. Naruto reveals himself to have transformed into his dog, while his clone holds the real Akamaru. Kiba flicks a food pill at him, causing his fur to turn red and ferocious, before taking one himself. Once powered up, Kiba and Akamaru use a combination of 4 legs technique and beast-human clone to overwhelm Naruto. Finishing the combination with Fang passing Fang technique, Naruto falls flat on his face, and swears to persevere in order to become Hokage, while being taunted. Using Kiba's own smoke screen as cover, Naruto disguises himself as a third Kiba through use of the transformation technique, and tricks Kiba into knocking Akamaru out, which angers Kiba. Naruto realizes he is still at a disadvantage due to Kiba's pill-enhanced chakra and superior speed. However, Kiba's onslaught ends when Naruto accidentally farts in Kiba's face due to straining himself too hard, resulting in a disastrous effect on him due to Kiba's enhanced sense of smell. Naruto then finishes the battle with Naruto Uzumaki combo, a technique he based off of Sasuke's lion combo, utilizing his shadow clones. The next match is Hinata Hyuga against Neji Hyuga, her cousin from the branch house of the Hyuga clan. Neji intimidates and berates his cousin, saying that she is too kind and gentle to be a ninja. Hinata, scared and helpless, seems ready to forfeit, when Neji continues his criticisms. Tired of his taunts, Naruto cheers Hinata on, giving her the strength to fight back, as we find out that Hinata has a big crush on Naruto. Hinata and Neji fight each other, using the Hyuga clan's trademark, gentle fist style. Pulling back Hinata's sleeve, Neji reveals that he has hit several points on her arm called Tenketsu, special pressure points that produce and maintain the flow of chakra. With all of them tapped, Hinata's chakra flow to her hand is effectively cut off, and her blow to Neji's heart has no effect. Neji continues his assault, but Hinata continues to stand up, inspired by Naruto. She tells Neji that she believes he is suffering more by fighting his destiny. Angered, Neji attempts a fatal blow, but 4 observing Jonin halt him. Hinata collapses into cardiac arrest shortly after, and Naruto vows to avenge her. After a long wait, Rock Lee is matched to fight against Gaara. He begins the fight by attacking with taijutsu, but his attacks are blocked by Gaara's sand. To bypass the speed of his shield, Guy permits Lee to remove his leg weights. In doing so, Lee's speed increases and he manages to land hits, only to discover Gaara's body is coated in sand. Opening the first of the 8 gates, Lee launches Gaara into the air with several kicks. Catching him with his bandages, Lee uses the front lotus, only to discover he used it on a body replacement technique. Gaara reappears and fights Lee, who is now weak from using his front lotus again. Lee quickly recovers this time, demonstrating his ability to open the second gate. He then powers himself up by opening the third gate, frightening even Gaara at this point. Guy and Neji have flashbacks to before Lee became a genin, and right after he became one, showing his determination to be a respectable ninja through only the use of taijutsu. Lee's speed proves too much for Gaara, and his sand is no longer able to form a shield fast enough to be of use. Lee opens 5th gate, and uses his most powerful attack, Reverse Lotus. Gaara survives this final blow, softening his fall by turning his gourd into sand, and using the sand to crush Lee's left arm and leg. Gaara moves his sand to finish Lee, but Guy jumps in to protect his student. Lee, although completely unconscious due to the pain, rises to continue the battle, as his instinctive determination fuels his broken body. Despite his incredible will, Lee is taken away to recover as he is in no condition to continue the battle, and Gaara is declared the winner. The medical ninja announces that Lee's injuries are too severe to be completely healed, and that he would never be able to fight as a ninja again. Guy regrets teaching Lee such dangerous techniques. The final match is between Choji and Dosu. Despite having formulated a strategy beforehand, Choji quickly loses to Dosu, concluding the preliminaries. The 9 qualifying genin are assigned opponents, and they are all allowed to leave for a month of training before the finals. Elsewhere, Kabuto prepares to kidnap Sasuke under Orochimaru's orders, but he is stopped by Kakashi and is forced to retreat. Naruto wants to visit Sasuke's room, but the nurses tell him that he's not accepting visitors. On his way out, he sees Kakashi. Naruto asks Kakashi to train him for the finals, but because of Sasuke's cursed seal, Kakashi decides he should focus his efforts on Sasuke. He tells Naruto that someone better than he will train him. Ebisu arrives and announces himself as Naruto's new trainer. Naruto complains why a man weaker than himself has to train him. Naruto tries to tell Kakashi of when he defeated Ebisu using his harem technique, but Ebisu covers his mouth, persuading him not to tell anybody, and bribing him with free ramen. After Kakashi leaves, Ebisu challenges Naruto to run away from him, and promises his resignation as Naruto's tutor if he escapes. Naruto hastily agrees and proceeds to attempt to hide, but to no avail as he is easily found by Ebisu. Naruto resorts to using his transformation technique to imitate a girl on a billboard sign, but is again discovered by Ebisu. As a last resort, he creates many shadow clones and they all run away in different directions. Ebisu, however, performs his own shadow clone technique and easily dispatches the clones and finds the real Naruto. After that, they eat together at the ramen shop. He then explains his usage of chakra, and how Naruto uses much more chakra than necessary. Naruto counters that he's still able to pull off feats that Sasuke and Sakura can't do, which Ebisu attests to the nine-tailed fox's chakra being accessible to Naruto. After eating, they head to the hot spring town. Ebisu tells Naruto that they will train here. He then explains about the water walking practice. Excited, Naruto attempts it, but falls into the water. He tries repeatedly, but to no avail as he continuously falls into the water. Naruto does not give up, however. He tries over and over again until he begins to grasp the basics of the technique. Originally thinking that Naruto was just a troublemaker with no future, Ebisu now realizes that he misunderstood him, and even thinks that Naruto can one day become an excellent Konoha ninja. Ebisu then sees a white-haired man, peeking into the women's change room and attacks him, but the white-haired man summons a frog and easily defeats him, with Naruto witnessing the attack. Naruto attempts to wake Ebisu to no avail, and demands to know the identity of his attacker. The man introduces himself as the Toad Sage of Mount Myaboku, and the author of the Icha Icha novels. Recognizing the books as Kakashi's favorite novels, Naruto declares the man to be a perverted hermit, instead, and demands that he take Ebisu's place as his teacher. Though the man refuses and leaves, Naruto pursues him. Naruto catches up with the sage as he is being rejected by a woman, but he traps the boy in a jar and escapes once more. Naruto finds the sage again as he is daydreaming outside of town, and after his transformation technique fails to fool Naruto, he tells the boy that he will train him in exchange for bringing him curvy fruit. Having misunderstood the innuendo, Naruto later approaches the sage with a watermelon, as the Toad Sage is attempting to impress two women. The man explains that he actually desires an attractive woman, and Naruto responds by using his sexy technique. Thoroughly impressed, he says he will train Naruto, provided he remains in that form, but then admits he was kidding when Naruto protests. Under the sage's supervision, Naruto resumes his training, but fails to stand on the hot spring water and removes his wet clothing in frustration. Recognizing Naruto's seal as the work of the fourth Hokage, the Toad Sage secretly removes the 5-element seal that has been preventing Naruto from efficiently controlling his chakra. With this impediment removed, Naruto happily walks across the water without any trouble. The sage decides that it is time to teach Naruto to control the Ninetales chakra, but insists they stop training for the day and head to the hot springs for a bath. Later that night, as Naruto sleeps, Ebisu approaches the Toad Sage and identifies him as Jiraiya of the Sannin, one of the few who can stop Orochimaru. Releasing Naruto into Jiraiya's care, Ebisu tells the Sannin to take care of him. Meanwhile, at the Kikyo Castle, Dosa tries to kill Gaara so he can fight Sasuke in the finals, only to be easily killed by a transformed Gaara, which horrifies Dosa before his death. Baki and Kabuto look on from the sidelines, having witnessed the attack. Baki and Kabuto then discuss their plans to attack Konoha. Hayate Gecko heard the conversation. He attempts to leave in order to notify the third Hokage, but he is killed by Baki. Jiraiya is peeking again at the bathing girls, prompting Naruto to finally use his sexy technique to convince Jiraiya to train him. Jiraiya finally tells Naruto that he's teaching him the summoning technique. Listening to Naruto describe his chakra, Jiraiya tells him that he must use his red chakra to use the technique by first using up his regular chakra. Naruto depletes his blue chakra using the shadow clone technique. After that, Jiraiya summoned a frog, with a summoning contract scroll. After signing the contract, Naruto tries using the summoning technique, but only a tadpole appears. Meanwhile, Hayate's body was later found by a group of Umbu. Continuing to practice the summoning technique, Naruto summons a small toad, but promptly passes out from exhaustion, as Jiraiya acknowledges his persistence and determination. Elsewhere, the third Hokage speaks with Anko, telling her that there is no one in Konoha who can stand against Orochimaru. Anko mentions the fourth Hokage, but the third replies that he is dead and they must do it with their own strength. Jiraiya wakes Naruto and spends the day with him, bathing together in a hot spring, and later eating at Ramen Ichiraku. Jiraiya tells Naruto to eat as if it were his last meal, and leaves before Naruto can thank him for the food, forcing Naruto to pay for it. When Naruto finds him, Jiraiya tells the boy to hug his crush, after which Naruto attempts to hug Sakura, and is beaten up in return. Continuing their training, Jiraiya renders Naruto unconscious, and throws him off a high cliff as he awakens. Jiraiya hopes to force Naruto into drawing on the Ninetales' power. Beneath the Hokage rock, Iruka teaches his class about the history of the Hokage. The third watches the class and Iruka invites him in, telling the children that the third was said to be the strongest Hokage. The third tells the students to protect their loved ones, and when they ask him who his own loved ones are, he replies his grandson, Konohamaru, and all the people of the village. Meanwhile, Naruto enters his subconscious and speaks with the Ninetales for the first time. The fox lends Naruto some of his chakra to prevent them both from dying, and with it, Naruto successfully summons a gigantic toad. While falling to his death, Naruto manages to summon Gamabunta. Angry that a child summoned him, Gamabunta starts asking where Jiraiya is. In order for Gamabunta to accept Naruto as his underling, he tells Naruto that he must stay on his back the whole day without falling off. Meanwhile in Konoha, Temari recalls the time a year ago in the hidden sand village when she argued with Baki over breaking the treaty alliance between Konoha and the sand. Later in the sand village, Baki reports to the 4th Kazekage that everything was going according to plan. Gamabunta still tries to shake Naruto off as Jiraiya is doing research for his novel by spying on a group of girls. In an attempt to shake Naruto off, Gamabunta lands in a waterfall, scaring off the girls, much to Jiraiya's dismay. This then causes Naruto to fall off the toad's back, so he makes a chain of shadow clones. Tired at last, Naruto falls off the chief toad's back. As a reward for lasting so long, Gamabunta catches Naruto with his tongue, and claims that no one since the 4th Hokage had stayed on his back for so long. Knowing that Naruto is depleted of his strength, Gamabunta drops off Naruto at the Konoha hospital. Baki knocks aggressively on the door of Kankuro and Temari's room, lecturing them about not watching over their brother, Gaara. They go to Gaara's room and are surprised to find him missing. Back at Konoha, Naruto wakes up and learns that he has been asleep for 3 days, and the Chunin exam finals are the next day. Shikamaru gives Naruto a fruit basket originally intended for Choji, who has been hospitalized for indigestion, having eaten too much. Sakura goes to Lee's room and replaces the flour. As Choji complains of his hunger, Ino walks in with a fruit basket for him. Gaara enters Lee's room and attempts to kill him while he is unconscious, but Naruto and Shikamaru immediately stop him. Incapacitated by Shikamaru's shadow imitation technique, Gaara divulges a little bit about his past, revealing he has a sand demon named Shikaka sealed within him from birth, and was created solely as a weapon for his village. However, he became too unpredictable, causing his father to regularly send assassins after him to kill his own son. Rejected and alone, Gaara vowed to live a life of pain, hurting others in the process. Naruto, who knows the feeling of loneliness all too well, sympathizes with Gaara, despite the fact that Gaara has become a monster. Gaara attempts to kill the two of them, but Guy steps in and demands Gaara to leave at once. Gaara has no choice, but not before promising that he'll kill them all. Naruto goes to the entrance of the stadium, where there's a banner announcing that the Chunin exams will be the next day. He eats at the Ramen Ichiraku, where he gets a big bowl of ramen on the house, since his match will be tomorrow. Temari and Kankuro are preparing their weapons, while Gaara is sitting on the rooftop. Neji and Tenten are shown to be practicing, as well as Shino. The next day, Naruto meets Hinata, where Team 7 had their bell test. Hinata concludes that he may defeat Neji, adding that Naruto's words of encouragement during her match with Neji made her a better person. This prompts Naruto to say that he likes people like Hinata, and invites her to watch his fight against Neji. Hearing fireworks, he rushes to the stadium so he could make it in time. On his way, he sees Konohamaru, who tells Naruto that he knows the shortcut to the stadium, but Konohamaru just brings him to the other side of the village. He then tells Naruto to ride the bulls to the stadium. Naruto kicks the bull, causing a stampede. Despite the trouble, Naruto finally arrives to the stadium, just in time for his match. Naruto looks around for Sasuke, who hasn't shown up, and Shikamaru wonders why Dosa hasn't shown up as well. The Umbu also start looking for Sasuke. The 4th Kazekage arrives with his bodyguards, and the 3rd Hokage commences the final exam. Genma announces that the first match will be Naruto versus Neji. Before starting, Naruto repeats what he said before, that he will defeat him. The match begins with Naruto throwing a few kunai. He then attacks Neji directly, who dodges and uses Gentle Fist, but misses hitting his Tenketsu. Naruto uses Shadow Clone technique and charges with groups of clones, which are skillfully made short work of. The real Naruto remains standing, with Neji saying that fate is determined at birth, and being Hokage is chosen by destiny. Naruto gets angry at his words, stating that he won't give up so easily, opting to now use the multiple Shadow Clone technique. Iruka worries about Naruto since he is fighting Neji Hyuga. Outside of the battle arena, Kabuto kills an Anbu in order to impersonate him as a disguise. Naruto's clones fail to hit Neji, who aims for what he believes is the real thing, but is unsuccessful. Naruto explains how he held one of his clones back from attacking, in order to draw Neji's attention to that one. He tackles Neji again, only to fail when he utilizes the 8 trigrams palms revolving heaven. Hayashi and Hinata are shocked to see it, since it is a move taught only to the main branch of the Hyuga clan. Tenten explains that Neji can see almost 360 degrees with his Byakugan, and emits chakra from any point in his body, rotating to repel his opponent. He then takes the 8 trigrams 64 palms stance, surprising Hayashi since this is an elite move exclusive only to the strongest of the Hyuga main branch, and proceeds to strike all of Naruto's 64 chakra points. Genma then walks up to the two to determine whether the match is over or not. Kiba asks Hinata if she's okay, observing her coughing up blood. Neji is surprised that Naruto is still conscious following the attack. Naruto feels dizzy, but remembers when Lee and Hinata had critical injuries due to their matches, and still managed to continue giving it their all. He manages to get back on his feet, shocking Neji. He then asks about the Hyuga clan, and Neji's hatred for it. Neji takes off his forehead protector and reveals the Hyuga main family's Juinjutsu. He explains the circumstances surrounding his father's death, believing that he was sacrificed as an inferior family member for the main branch of the Hyuga clan. He tells Naruto that his fate was already decided when chosen as his opponent, and that he cannot win. As the fight progresses, Naruto and Neji argue about the outcome of their match, and fate being predetermined. After that, Neji strikes down Naruto with several hits, and tells the examiner that he should call the match. After having all his own chakra closed off, Naruto manages to access the nine-tailed demon fox chakra. They face off once more, now being able to move fast enough to avoid Neji's attacks. The pair then clash, creating a massive explosion in the arena. As the dust settles, 2 holes are seen in the ground. Neji crawls up out of the first one. Walking to the second hole, he mocks Naruto, who is lying there seemingly unconscious. It turns out to be a shadow clone, and the real Naruto, having dug a hole underground, surprises him with an uppercut from below, hitting Neji right in the jaw. This leaves Neji unable to move, and Genma announces Naruto as the winner of the match. Sakura is inspired by Naruto, promising herself to get stronger, seeing the product of Naruto's hard work and determination. Asuma, Kurenai, and the third Hokage are all surprised to see that Naruto was able to control the nine-tailed demon fox's chakra on command. After some medical ninjas take Neji into a room to treat his injuries, Hayashi Hyuga comes, asking for some time alone. He hands Neji a scroll, who realizes it's in his father's handwriting. The scroll described the truth that took place during the Hyuga affair many years ago. Despite the elders wanting Hisashi to die in Hayashi's place in order to protect the Byakugan, he states that he was doing it through his own free will, not to protect the head family, but to protect his brother and their village. Hayashi then bows his head to Neji, begging for his forgiveness. Asking him to raise his head, Neji proclaims his goal now is to become stronger, to follow in his father's footsteps. After many complaints that Sasuke was late against his match with Gaara, the third Hokage decides to disqualify Sasuke. However, the fourth Kazekage tells him that many of the other village's leaders and daimyo have come to Konoha for the sole purpose of watching the sole surviving Uchiha face off against the San's very own Gaara. Hearing this, he decides to postpone Sasuke's match. Kankuro's match is thus moved up, but he forfeits his match with Shino Aburame, not wanting to reveal Karasa's inner workings to Konoha, thus allowing Shino to win by default. With Kankuro's withdrawal, the next match is set to begin, between Temari and Shikamaru Nara. Though initially unwilling, Shikamaru fights Temari because he refuses to lose to a girl. Shikamaru quickly studies the arena and its elements and comes up with a plan. Despite this, Temari has seen his shadow imitation technique in action, and knows how it works. She appears to evade Shikamaru's creativity and adapt to his tactics, however he had been luring her to the tunnel Naruto created in the previous match. Shikamaru catches her in his trap through use of the tunnel, by sending his shadow through it. Although seeming to have clearly won, he forfeits at the last second, claiming to have exerted too much chakra in capturing Temari to continue the match, also adding that if he continued, it would be too much of a hassle. As Shikamaru and Temari's match has come to an end, people comment on Shikamaru's strategy and skill. Asuma mentions he has the most important trait of a Chunin, completely disregarding his own pride, and knowing when to retreat instead of endangering himself and his team. With Sasuke and Gaara's match next to start, the third Hokage sets a time limit for Sasuke to arrive. Guy and Rock Lee walk through the gates. Although still injured, he's determined to watch the remaining match. Sasuke arrives at the very last second with Kakashi Hatake. Naruto greets him, and reassures Sasuke that he won against Neji. Meanwhile, Gaara kills a pair of ninja, who are attempting to rig the match on his way to enter the arena. This is witnessed by Naruto and Shikamaru, who are now worried for Sasuke's life. The match commences. As the fight between Sasuke and Gaara commences, Kakashi apologizes to Sakura for worrying her by being late. He then remarks to Guy about the Anbu presence in the stadium, with suspicions that Konoha may come under attack. Naruto realizes how dangerous Gaara is, and the only person who can currently satisfy his bloodlust is Sasuke. At the same moment, Sasuke begins attacking Gaara fast enough to bypass his shield of sand, oddly reminiscent of Lee's fighting style. Kakashi explains that, having seen Lee's taijutsu before with his Sharingan, they had been training this last month to produce the same speed. Lee knows from prior experience that speed is not enough to defeat Gaara, but Guy recognizes it must serve some other purpose. After continuously being pummeled by Sasuke, Gaara retreats into a shield of sand shaped into a sphere to give himself time to transform. Sasuke is unable to break through this defense with speed alone, and Naruto and Shikamaru both reflect on how Gaara thinks his point is to kill others. They decide that if the match continues, Sasuke will die, and rush upstairs to tell Kakashi. He tells them not to worry, promising there was a good reason for why they were late. With Gaara unable to move while within his shield, and Sasuke unable to break through its defense, Sasuke decides to use his new technique, Chidori. With it, Sasuke was able to pierce Gaara's shield, stopping his transformation, and becoming the second person to ever injure Gaara. At that moment, Kabuto uses a genjutsu to put the audience to sleep, signaling the start of the Konoha Crush, the invasion of Konoha by the Sand and Sound villages led by Orochimaru. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Have a great day.